Here we are down at the Cowboys Leagues Club for On the Field. It's the second local derby. This time we're up against the Dolphins. Feeling pretty good about this one. I know I did say that against the Titans and it was a little bit sketchy for a bit there, but feeling pretty good about this one. We've had a couple changes to the team since we played the Titans. There's been a noticeable or pretty major change just recently, but we'll get into that in a minute. How are you feeling about this game, Mitchy?
I'm feeling a lot more confident about this one, given the injuries between both teams. I guess really kind of goes a bit both ways, but like you said, we'll get into that.
Yeah, the Dolphins have lost a few players the last couple of weeks. Hemiso probably most noticeably, right? They've had young Trey Fuller at fullback filling in.
Yeah,
He's done pretty well though. So really, they're not too far out having him there at the moment. They've actually got a few big ins again with
honestly,
Kafusi coming back.
it honestly feels like they park the Ferrari and they pull out the Audi still. Like it's still pretty strong.
Yeah, he's done well. He's been a solid replacement, definitely, even for the brief interim. They do have a few big ins though. The Dolphins coming back. Kafusi, I did see he was back, as well as Lemuelu. Connolly's back. Now, I haven't actually run through. We'll probably have a look in a second. Haven't run through their team list directly, but I'm assuming Lemuelu is going to slot straight back in on the edge there, where he has been playing. Uh, Cowboys though, biggest change is Townsend. And Townsend out managing a knee injury. I think that's something he picked up last week against the Panthers. He went down in a tackle there, and he looked pretty ginger towards the end of the match. I think it was coming out of that tackle. But yeah, a bit of a late exclusion yesterday. There were whispers. We had inside whispers from one of the playing group to a friend of a friend of a friend that made it back to us that Chad would be out. So we're finally seeing Jake Clifford make his return to the to Cowboys first grade, which would be pretty exciting.
And I mean, yeah, like you said, exciting stuff. Really, I mean, we probably need to take advantage of this time more than anything to really sort of blood Clifford back into the squad. And I mean, there's only so much you can do with training, so it's ultimately it's a great decision. And even if Chad was okay to play, I think this is still probably a great time to start getting him ready, regardless. So the more game time we can give him, the better.
Yeah. So we were speaking quickly about a couple of the changes. So Granville's the other one to drop out. Now, did he did play last weekend, but only for a bit. He didn't play for very long. It was Gajewski that dropped out of the side last week after that humping from the Sharks. Gajewski dropped out for McKaylee. McKaylee finally getting a run, which was quite exciting, albeit I think he only got maybe 18, maybe 20 minutes, less than 20 minutes, I think.
Exactly 18 minutes, but I mean, he did have a really good like showing. Hard runs, great offloads, which is something that we arguably need a lot more of because we're sort of lacking on that sort of dynamic big bloke, who sort of throws those passes out. It's really good to see him, and I'm excited to see him do it longer than 18 minutes for sure. So.
Yeah, hopefully moving forward, I'm assuming that will be Peyton's role with him, but he will get a little bit more game time moving forward. Like you said, those offloads and that, such a big body, but solid offloads, not going to ground or not panicking and pushing passes or offloads when they weren't needed was probably the big thing I noticed. So excited to see a lot more of that. But
It shows that he does have that level of experience to not do that as well, which is good. He's not just a total rookie coming off. It's someone who's coming in, showing he's still got a bit of individual skill, and he's ready to actually game hard for us.
we'll run through the team list real quick. You might notice we're actually sitting in the pokey room of the league's club at the moment because
It's popping off today.
yeah, this derby has the club packed out. A new club into the league, I guess, or the newest club anyway. Queensland, our brethren. Obviously, everyone's turned out to support them, so it should be a good game today. Dolphins team list, though, from number one, we have Trey Fuller. On the wing, Jermaine Asako, Jake Averillo in the centres, Tessie Niu, the other centre with Bostock on the other wing. I've just got to have a quick slap on the Dragon link here to keep our spot while we go through this. Cody Nikarima in at 5'8",
Just to keep that spot.
with Isaiah Katoa at halfback. Jesse Bromwich in at prop with Marshall King at hooker still. Mark Nichols, Felice Kafusi back in the second row, as we mentioned earlier. Ewan Aitken in the second row there. Max Plath at lock still with the bench interchange. Josh Kurt, Kurt Donahue, Ray Stone, and Connolly Lemuelu. Now, if there's a potential change. They got an hour up until an hour before kickoff to change. Whether Lemuelu comes into the starting side, I don't know, but it's looking like as of so far anyway, he'll be coming off the bench. And we'll go over to the home side. Drinkwater, our fullback, tried and true Drinkwater, with Felt on the wing, Valentine Holmes, and Valemi Valea is the new inclusion. Now, that cursed centre spot seems to be seeing injury after injury this year, unfortunately. Thankfully, this one being relatively short-term, not a season-ending injury, with Chester sustaining a hamstring. I don't know what grade it was or how bad. I'm hearing about 4 weeks.
4 weeks is what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, hopefully it's only short-term 4 weeks for Chester there. It's just something I think he's had before. He knew, you could see in that tackle.
He knew straight away. He was straight off and he was grabbing at it. It was very clearly in a lot of discomfort though.
Yeah, something he's struggled with before. So hopefully it's a relatively quick recovery and return for Chester. But Viliami Valea finally getting to go in the centres there, who we've picked up this year. So I think he's got a lot of raps about him, so he may even potentially lock that spot down, depending when Chester comes back. Who knows and how well he goes, but excited to see what he brings tonight. With Sammy Valame still on the other wing, and we've got Tommy Dearden at 5'8", with Jake Clifford making his long-awaited return. He spoke on it before. You think he needed to be brought in sooner rather than later. So what better opportunity than straight in the number 7 at half back there. Now, I agree. I think he needs game time. I don't think he's a saviour or replacement for Chad by any means. Don't get me wrong.
He has to be the future.
Yeah. I think he does need game time. He definitely needs game time to get back into it. So,
saviour, but he has to be the future. That's what we need to sort of like work out now.
Yep, so get him that game time now while he's got the opportunity. And who knows, he may even find himself on the bench potentially, hopefully, getting a little bit more moving forward later in the year. But excited to see Clifford back. Welcome back in Cowboys colours, Jake. With our forwards, we've got Jordan McLean, Reece Robson there at hooker, Griffin Neem, the other prop, Kuli Kefu still the second row, with Jeremiah Nanai, the other edge forward. Ruben Cotter in at lock, Harlem Lukey, number 14 on the bench. Now, whether he changes with Kula Kefu an hour before kickoff, I don't know. I could possibly see Peyton leaving it because it seems to be a good method at the moment, having Lukey or McKaylee come off the bench for Kula Kefu, but we'll see what happens just before kickoff there. So Thomas McKaylee on the interchange as well with Sam McIntyre and Jason Tamalolo. And
Lukey did get through training okay, from what I heard. But I still have question marks on that.
Yeah. So probably as well, what you're bringing up, very, very good opportunity just to bring him back in and not put too much stress or too much weight on him if he is still sort of nursing it. As you said, he did get through training, but training and game day are two different things, I guess. We'll find out. But the long-awaited return, hopefully he comes back fit and faster than ever. Tamalolo, the number 17, the last one on there. That game against the Panthers last week, I think it was almost a masterstroke bringing him off the bench. He played almost as well as he would have 5+ years ago, I think.
It felt like seeing JT of old, you know?
Yeah.
I think we need to go back to. I think Peyton's really hit the nail on the head with that, and just going back and just using him as bench, like using him as bench impact straight away, and picking the moment a little bit better as well when to do it. I think he nailed it last week. I think it really showed that it worked really well last week as well. We just got to keep on making it consistent and actually keeping it, I guess, switched up a little bit in terms of when he actually pulls the pin on it, just so that it doesn't get too predictable.
Yeah, definitely not a utility, but yeah, use it when the time's right. Exactly right, because he came on, I think it was maybe 20 minutes or 15 minutes left in that first half, and he absolutely steamrolled. Yeah. Yep, those are the teams. I'm going to say, before we wrap it up, I'm thinking Cowboys come away with the win here. We are favourites, obviously being at home at the moment, but I'm going to say, yeah, I'll say Cowboys by 12. What are you thinking for this one?
I've got Cows by 8 for this, mate.
Rightio, relatively close one. We'll wrap that up for On the Field at the moment down here at the Cowboys Leagues Club, and we'll throw it back to Life at the Outpost. See you soon. Welcome back to Life at the Outpost. Round 9 has just concluded. Round 8 and 9.
Womp womp.
Yeah. 2 consecutive losses. 3 consecutive losses. 4?
Yeah, 3.
3 consecutive losses.
It still feels like 4.
Not thrashings or anything by any means. I guess if you want to take some sort of positive away from it, but the same issue we talk about every week after every round being probably the problem there in the end, right? The errors in defence.
Episode 5 now. Episode 5, I think this is.
Talking about
For this
defence.
year.
Oh,
and it's,
okay.
yeah, for this year. Pretty sure. 5
Mhm.
or 4 or 5, one of the two. And we're talking about defence again.
Yeah, pretty tough.
Yeah.
Pretty tough talking about the same thing every week. But yeah, we know what the problem is. I mean, effort.
Actually, there was a little bit more of an issue this week with completions though as well. So, I mean, we did pretty well with that against the Panthers. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
But this week we really shot ourselves in the foot a bit with the completions against the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Fair play to them. They were very Johnny on the spot with a lot of it, but yeah, I'll tell you what, the amount of drop ball from our forwards.
Yeah, it makes it hard. It makes it hard when you have to defend and when your team can't properly defend.
As a team who struggles with defense as is,
You don't want to be having to do it more than you have to.
yeah, especially not from your own end or anything like that. Like we just were stuck in our half for so long.
Yeah.
So long, man.
Yeah.
Just-
Yep.
And we'd get up our half.
Yep.
And we'd drop it.
Yeah. Yeah, playing that Panthers game anyway, I think was probably a little bit of a positive, a shining light in seeing the effort they come out with in that second half. Like, same thing, errors in defence leading to tries or being a problem. But that second half, the effort they put in attack sort of showed, and defence as well, mind you, sort of showed that there's a bit of positive there, bit of improvement in some areas anyway. Panthers defense was just insane. Like, their goal line defense was phenomenal. I mean, I don't know how many 6 agains you're allowed to have on your goal line these days without someone being penalised or sat down or whatever, but neither here nor there, I guess. Their defense was insane. That's just sort of what made it hard for us in the end. I mean, to only lose by 6 points in the really dying minutes, it was sort of clinched up anyway by them. It was rather positive. But then you come to this week, around just being where we probably should have won that game. It was, I wouldn't say it's desperately a must. It wasn't a must-win game yet.
I don't know if there's really a must-win until that last sort of 7 rounds. Maybe.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, really, but we probably need to be winning the next couple. We need to be getting a couple so we can set ourselves up around Origin time.
Around Origin, yeah. Actually, that's a good point.
But yeah, no, I wouldn't say must-win for that one just yet. But it's not good. We're still losing. We're losing games we should be winning. Talking about the Titans game, last year we should have won that, and look what happened there. That pretty well fucked our whole season. Well, that was a factor in making that run to the finals harder.
Yeah, losing Val to that, and then just man.
Yeah. So positive. I mean, didn't get that Panthers win, but I thought positive showing. At the end of the game anyway, it was all around positive. You don't get prizes for second place, unfortunately, but something to look forward to. And then it almost was somewhat undone this week just by the same old shit, same errors. A couple missed kicks, I think, didn't help either. We only lost by 2 points, but yeah.
The shining light to the entire thing, I think, is just the inclusion of Clifford.
Yeah. Yep.
I think Clifford not only had a really great first game back.
Yeah.
And that'll only get better now that, now the nerves are there. There's probably not going to be any nerves. There's going to be, because you will always get nerves your first game back. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think his level of attack is only going to benefit the Cows tenfold. And if we're going to continue this approach of 0 defense, 100 offense, well, I think maybe he's definitely potentially part of the answer to making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
But even his defense was arguably a bit better than Chad's, I'd say.
Yeah, he wasn't just a tackling pad or a test dummy.
Yeah, he was at least pushing for stuff and trying to make things happen.
He was able to make tackles and whatnot. Yeah, it was a late exclusion, I think, the day before. They were talking about Chad dropping out, and then, he did. He dropped out, and Clifford filled in for him. The fifth tackle kicks far better in my opinion.
Far better.
A little bit, more potent. It wasn't just straight down to the opposite corner into the winger's hands or the fullback's hands, and fullback makes 23 easy kick return meters. Yeah, we did see a couple of drop balls, I think, or at least some. It was struggle. They were struggling to catch those kicks, Clifford's kicks, which was exciting to see. It was good. It was a nice change. Not that, he changed the world or anything, but yeah, he did his job for last minute sort of inclusion, did his job and did it well. So it's probably a little bit of positive signs for when he does end up coming into the team full time eventually, and whether it be, at 14 or eventually at 7, who knows. It was good to see him, definitely.
I guess, do you see him play 14 during Origin?
14 potentially, yeah. I mean, all depends as well. If Tommy does get picked for Origin, he goes away to Origin camp.
Geez, I think you've got to be delusional if you don't pick Tommy, right?
Yeah,
For sure.
yeah. Then it would be easy. He would walk into the 6. I think he'd walk into the 6 very easily, Clifford, which is positive. Positive to see that there. I have him there to be able to do that. Yeah. I mean, we've got a few good replacements sitting around at the moment. McKaylee had another good game. Got some more minutes this time around.
Yeah.
Some good offloads again. Strong runs.
We need to get him like 40-minute plus ASAP.
Yeah,
like,
bit more match fit or ready to play.
Yeah.
Almost maybe if we could have him as like a Leilua replacement sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I personally, I think he's probably one of the more enjoyable to watch bigger men that we've had in recent times.
Yeah. Yep.
And it comes back to just actually going back to your reserve grades and picking someone who's actually got that bit of buzz about them. We haven't really done a lot of that.
Yeah.
In the recent years, we've sort of just outsourced, and
yep.
I feel like that's where we do shoot ourselves in the foot a little bit sometimes.
Yep.
You look at the last 5, even to 10 years of missed opportunities we've had with players. I mean, look at Kickout now.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude's got a premiership under his belt, and
yep.
Just that's just one example, obviously, and hindsight 2020. But I think seeing how well McKaylee's done has really sort of also harkened back and reinforced that we need to be looking at our reserve grade a little bit more intently.
Yeah. I mean, obviously not coming through the grades. McKaylee was a pickup, but someone we've had there as a depth signing or whatever, and someone that should probably be, like you're saying, considered more or given a bit more of an opportunity to be in the side. As we know, Gajewski's leaving or gone, so he'll take his spot instantly.
Thankfully.
He's the next man up sort of thing. But yeah, very, very enjoyable to watch. I think Jason in that Panthers game, Tamalolo, was really good coming off the bench. His effect on that game or whatever, his effort in that game was almost like it was Jason of old, so it was almost like that was probably how he needed to be played.
He did taper back in the Dolphins game, though.
Yeah, how he needed to be played was coming off the bench, I think. Everything he gave, and that was quite solid. And then, yes, he jumped to this week where same sort of thing, played the same sort of way. Came in, I think, toward the end of the second half or halfway through the first half, sorry, I should say, not second half.
Every time we need him to do more minutes, he seems to degrade a little bit.
Yeah, so he probably just needs that set, whether it be half an hour, 40 minutes in a game, 20 before the end of the first half, 20 into the second half, something like that. Just get him right to play that if he can do that, and have him come in and not so much be the wrecking ball again, but just come in like that, and then that's it. You've had your minutes, sit down, let the rest of the boys take over from here or something. It's
or at least if you're gonna give him a second stint, make sure it's gonna be like an impact like opportunity.
Yeah, it's a lot more positive seeing him come on and do what he does when he's been managed like that or played like that, as opposed to running on and getting less than 100 run meters or something. You know what I mean? Being shut down or running
the armchairs are going to go nuts if they hear that. But I tell you what, that's definitely, I agree. I 100% agree that that's the best way to manage him and play him 100%.
Yep. So hopefully we can see some more positive results back from him moving forward with it as well, despite the slight lull this week anyway against the Dolphins. Valea filling in there at centre. Now, again, didn't really set the world alight, unfortunately, but I don't think he made any errors. He did decent defensively, did okay. Had some strong runs and whatnot, so probably not a bad spot to have him, at least until Chester's ready to go again. Whether he keeps it, whether he does sort of improve and keeps it.
He did have one error where he tried to push a pass off the edge. And that led to them getting the ball and getting a fair bit of meters off it. But it was not really I think it was more of like a desperation thing towards the end of the game, as opposed to like a genuine, like, damn, that's a rookie mistake sort of thing.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yep.
I think yeah, he's probably going to be pretty handy, especially during the Origin period
Mm, mm,
as well.
yep. Yeah,
Uh,
definitely. I mean, once Val will be out. Chester should be well and truly, hopefully, healthy by then, so he'll slot back in there, which is good.
Poor kid.
Um, Talangi, which yes, the Panthers game it was actually did his hammy. 4 weeks, I think they're looking at the moment. Hopefully, it is only
4 to
4
6,
weeks.
but
Thankfully,
hopefully it's 4. Yeah.
yeah. Hopefully, it does stay only 4. But he'll be a good signing. Or a good fill in there. I think definitely once Val goes off to Origin too. Yeah. I mean, some positive signs, but again, yeah, just the same thing. Defense and errors, really overall being
Do you
the
think Cotter
major
gets
issue.
picked for Origin this year?
I will
I
say well,
imagine
he does. He has to.
I imagine he
because,
has to because there's so many forwards injured, right?
Yeah, Queensland's
Mm.
Origin forward selection or forward pack is dwindling at the moment. There seems to be injuries every other week. We seem to be losing someone, so he will definitely. I think, unless I'm not going to say what I was about to say because I don't want to manifest it. But unless something happens and he can't.
Do you
Can't play,
think maybe? Do you think maybe McKaylee goes and plays the 11 then?
Potentially, yeah, very well could because Lukey came back as well. We should mention, Lukey did come back on the bench. He played limited minutes. It was probably more toward the end of the game.
Yeah,
He came on
very much towards the end.
later in the game. So Peyton definitely managing him just to watch that ankle, which is probably a good thing because the poor bugger seems to just get injured.
Watch
and
that
get
man's
injured
whole ass legs.
Yeah, he seems to just get injured, find some sort of form, and then just get injured. Unfortunately, so hopefully that sorts him out there, and he ends up being fit. Ends up being fit in a few more rounds, ready to run back on. But yeah, very well could. He could get the 11 potentially. I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see moving forward, really. What do we got in terms of signings? Braden Burns is the latest one. We got as a bit of a depth signing there. I think that's mainly probably based just on what injuries we've had, or the amount of injuries we're starting to pick up, and then yes, Origin is coming up, so bit of signing someone that's got some first grade experience in the worst case scenario. I think I'd be surprised to see him play really any games for us.
I was gonna say it still feels like a bit of a panic signing, really, but
yeah, it'd be some sort of just a depth backup sort of thing. I think
knee-jerk
really,
reaction,
yeah,
to injuries.
yeah,
Basically.
yeah.
I don't think they would have paid. I don't really think they would have paid much for him.
Neither, man.
Yeah.
I'd probably say he's probably not far off retiring, to be honest. So it's just another little lifeline to keep playing and a little paycheck, and just someone with some first grade experience is a bit of a depth signing for us, for the Cowboys there. On top of that, Carl Lawton from Manly, we've signed him. I don't know whether we spoke about that last time, but he's coming next year, I do believe. He'll be here next year. So he's likely, if he does play, will be taking Granville's spot in that interchange role, but you know what I mean. Hopefully, we can sort the side we have out by then and
get a bit more clarity in terms of what we can actually run.
Yeah, exactly. And as well, Harrison Edwards, Harrison Graham, Harrison Edwards from the Bulldogs, effective immediately. We've picked him up. So again, another utility player, another
depth utility.
Another depth signing, utility bench player, I think, for us if he does get a go, probably around Origin time or something like that. But there hasn't really been any other major news on signings or anything like that. Kula Kefu, obviously, Dolphins picking him up at season's end, so he'll definitely be on the way out. We've kept Lukey. I think
there's not really a lot of room to move with our roster currently. That's the thing.
No, there isn't. Yeah.
It wouldn't shock me to see some shake-ups happen towards the end.
Yep.
Maybe as a reaction to how the rest of the season actually goes, but
yep.
Have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I guess for now it's just wait and pray we get some fixed defense.
yeah, exactly. There's some sort of improvement. I mean, that's the next thing, man. We've seen the improvements in other areas. That's the next thing they need to focus on and get better at. Otherwise, it's just going to be the same results. We're just going to keep getting troubled by teams that we shouldn't be. Should be comfortably locking away, or at least getting ahead on the scoreboard and staying ahead. That being said, we do have the Titans down on the Gold Coast. Gold Coast. Oh, had a little bit of a stroke there. Gold Coast.
Burnt toast.
They very well could make it a hard game to win. The Titans with their form lately, they've been
they've
really putting an
really.
effort, whereas we've still been struggling with
Mm.
defense, like we're talking about again. Yeah,
And I mean, with the way that Brimo has been playing as well at number one,
Yep.
geez, if we let defense happen like we have been the last probably 6 weeks,
Yeah.
I want to say.
Yep.
Geez, he's going to cause some issues.
Yeah.
There's going to be issues.
Be hard to deal with. Yep.
Yeah. I think even Big Dave's been cracking lines lately as well. So
yeah. Yep. Yeah. So again, up the middle, they do have some big fellas in that forward pack.
That's where our weakness is right now, is all through the middle.
They made it difficult for us when we played them up here a few weeks ago. So, and arguably they are in better form. They're playing a lot better now, the Titans. So it's hopefully we can come back and sort of make up for the last few weeks. And
I mean,
also,
hindsight is 2020 as well, obviously, but I would even probably argue that, yeah, maybe the Titans win last time they were up here.
Yeah.
If Brimo was there at fullback.
Yeah, exactly. Potentially. Very well potentially. But yeah, I'm just hoping that's it. They go in and just shore up the defense a bit. Even just some sort of improvement in it is going to be a positive, really, for us. Keep what we're doing with the attack and that. We can put points on, but we just need to defend our errors.
I might die on the spot if I see the Cowboys defend 3 back-to-back sets on our line.
Again. Yeah.
If we can do that, I'll probably die on the spot without conceding points.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, sorry, not again, but yeah, without allowing a try in.
Without allowing a try in.
Just it's
Granted, you don't want to ever be in a position where you have to defend 3 sets back to back to back, but
yeah, no.
That's the reality of it. We have been in those situations these last few weeks, and we just can't.
Yeah, can't seem to stay in
it.
Yeah, that's it.
If you're gonna put yourselves in that spot, you got to be able to get out of it. So
yeah, I think we do have every potential. We have every opportunity to lock this one up. It may even be a close result, but I think we can come back. We do need a win. 3 straight on the trot losses now is not looking good. We've dropped out of the 8. But I do think they've got every opportunity to come away with this one, man, whether it be in the form of, I don't know whether, we haven't seen team lists, whether Chad's back yet or not. There's rumours he should be right to go, but whether Clifford stays in and it comes off the back of, a bit of Tommy Magic or Drinkwater, sort of some show and goes, and that'll cut out passes, whatnot. But
I'm absolutely hoping we get to see Clifford another time.
Yeah. Exactly. If anything, just for a bit of comparison's sake, you know what I mean?
100%. Give us a sample size. I mean, one game's not enough. Give us a proper sample size. I'd love to see it.
Yep. But yeah, I think we can definitely win. It won't be easy. Titans aren't going to roll over with what they've shown us the last couple of weeks. They've been very solid. But yeah, I think we can definitely win this one.
Yeah.
That's probably about it for this week. If you got any questions, I know we've had a couple people write in the last few weeks, but if you've got any questions, swing them through on Instagram, on Life at the Outpost podcast, or send a message in, leave a comment on YouTube under our YouTube video, and we'll include it in the next podcast and have a chat about it then. But for now, that's it from us here.